Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Fellow citizens, following the sequence of events, Uganda seems to be at political crossroads.
I'm not a servant of anybody.
Madam, I know the law.
As such, Alternative Digital brings you the Interface Show with retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besuje.
Let's keep on the same page on Alternative Digitalk,
As he gives you the alternatives on the transition question, rule of law, human rights and freedom, youth inclusion in governance, economic stagnation, as he confirms.
I'll be always here Saturday from 10 a.m. in the morning. Be there.
Don't miss the live discussion on the Alternative Uganda, Digitalk TV Facebook pages, and the Alternative Uganda YouTube channel.
Hello beautiful people, you're welcome to the Snap Talk with your girl Teddy Tenjo every Saturday right from 6 to 7.
Naku zino twajirwa flat tami. Tukyayambala ko kugoyo obutukwata.
Wajana ku body shaming. Speak up. Gendo ba confronting. Obagambe ekyo kyemukola si kirungi. Towerabira nti tuli wano ku the Alternative Digitalk mukwano gwa gwaliye. Topic kiri wandiyagadde twogereko. Is it about family?
Ngati ze tata wange amanyira nkola n'obuvunanyizibwa nyina bungi. Era agezaako n'anyamba yambako yanda.
Naye kumukubira kumubuuzaako. Noga mama we bali kunzaala.
Is it outside family? Is it society? Oh, could it be relationships?
Come and visit, call me. Simanyanga I miss you bichi. Especially embeera y'obudde si nnungi.
Naye n'omuntu akwagalira mu season yaba takwagala ze nkubuulira.
Just be commenting a topic yona gyandiyagadde twogereko tujja kwa tujogera kwano ku the Alternative Digitalk ku share enganzi the Snap Talk.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.
Very good morning to you, our dear viewers. You're most welcome to this show, and thank you for always tuning to the Alternative Digitalk and Digitalk TV. That's how we stream live on our media platforms: Facebook, Alternative Uganda, and Digitalk TV. That's how we stream live, and our shows are always live here. You can comment, participate, share, like, invite people to also join the discussion so that you can also form part of the team that sacrifice their time, their energy, and resources to also make sure that they keep on informing the public on different issues that are affecting them on a day-to-day life. This morning on Tekachi Tuesday, every 11 to midday, I'm Kato Tumsime hosting this show, and we take our time to always invite different people to talk about different issues concerning the law, what law that allows you to do what you do, or that stops you from doing what you are not supposed to do, and you do it maybe knowingly or unknowingly. So this show aims at teaching you and informing you about what should be done, how it should be done, when it should be done, and actually the repercussions and the outcomes of when you do what you're not supposed to do. I'm Kato, and thank you for always tuning up. Today, this morning, we shall be talking about a topic that has been in the ears of so many Ugandans and that has attracted a lot of attention. That is about how different laws are made in Uganda, and we shall be talking about the law-making processes in Uganda. That is our topic of discussion today, and before we go to that topic, I want to, like I've always done, I want to also give you this legal alert so that you can be kept in knowing and have this knowledge so that you don't make the mistakes that will cost you in monetary terms or money's worth. So make sure that you know. And this is a legal alert from the decision that was delivered by Justice Alan Ishime in a case of Dr. Daniel Byamukama and another versus Apollo Buregeya. This one was delivered on 28th October 2022. And among the issues that this judge pointed out was that that it was illegal for any company not licensed by Uganda Law Council to draw and file pleadings. Those are court documents, which is a preserve of honor advocates and licensed law firms. So in this matter, a company that was not licensed by the Law Council drafted pleadings and a defense and filed it in court. But this is what the judge told, and this is how he held his decision. So it's up to you to always follow up licensed law firms and advocates, because they are the only people who have the preserve of filing the court documents. And if you go for any other company that is not licensed to do the same, then you see the repercussions that will come after that one. This morning, I'm hosting Counsel Nimrod Katabarwa. I want to give him this opportunity to say hello to our viewers and say a word about him so that the viewers can know who is directly talking to them this morning. You're most welcome on this show.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
Counsel Kato. To our viewers, a very good morning to you. Wherever you are, our local viewers who are viewing us from different parts of Uganda. And this being a live show and hosted online, to all our international viewers, a very good morning to you. Nimrod Katabarwa is my name. I'm a lawyer. I work with the Anthony IMCW and the company advocates. And I'm very happy to be here on this talk show, and I want to extend my appreciation to the Alternative Uganda, Digitalk, for inviting me to share my views about the lawmaking process in Uganda, and also give my opinions as well.
Okay,
thank you very much, Counsel Kato.
Thank you so much, and you're most welcome on this show. And our viewers out there, if you have any question concerning our topic today, or any other topic that is not related to what we are discussing today, feel free to always hit our inbox, the Alternative Uganda Facebook page. You can also put your comment and we shall be able to answer and clarify what you are inquiring. Our YouTube channel is always active. Subscribe, share these links to different people so that they can also form part and be part of the discussion today. As our topic, Mr. Nimrod, I want you to take us, first of all, who is mandated to make these laws in Uganda as a starting point. Then we shall delve much into the process itself.
Yeah, thank you very much, Counsel Kato.
Yes.
Now, in Uganda, the mandate is given to Parliament of Uganda to make the laws, and it's mandated under the Constitution, Article 97 or 79? 79, yeah, of the Constitution, to make the laws in Uganda. And any other authority or any other person and any other who would be able to also make any law, then it means he's doing it under a delegated service, is actually empowered by the Parliament to do so. So the mandate is with Parliament to make the laws.
So any other body or authority that wants to make different laws, they have to get the mandate and authority from Parliament?
Of course, the enabling, the empowering institution would be Parliament. It's Parliament that is mandated to make the laws in Uganda, and actually we need to even know what is law. Because you see, in the lives of ordinary people, the law is easily probably felt, its impact or its effect, than rather defined.
Okay.
You see, so what is the law?
We need to start from defining what is law and what is included in the law.
Yes, now the law has been defined by different scholars in a very different way. But to me, I take it as a system of rules. Any country or a community of people adapts and recognizes as regulating the behaviors and actions of its citizens.
Okay.
Yes, and surely it has to be enforced, usually by penalties, imposition of penalties, and fines.
So should we say that each law must be having the penalties when it is broken by any person?
Ultimately, when there is a breach of any provisions, there is an implication actually to the person who is breaching the law, and that implication would be in the negative.
The negative.
And in most cases, trust me, it is either going to affect you financially or you as an individual when you are subjected to some punishments that are provided under the laws. Yes, so it must be enforced as well.
As well, okay.
Yes.
So now we look into now the process themselves, having empowered Parliament to honor with the authority and power to make the laws and legislation as part of its functions.
Yes,
under the Constitution, of course, it's Article 79. So what do we consider first before coming up and, saying that Parliament is now introducing this new law? What inspires, the parliamentarians to bring up such kind of laws from the beginning?
Now, you see, the law is not developed from nowhere. There must be circumstances from where it arises.
Okay.
And you see, at Parliament, laws are introduced on two angles.
Okay.
From the government or from private members. Private members, I mean members, the backbenchers in Parliament.
Okay.
You see? And somebody probably brings up a private member's bill. But before there must be identification of a gap that is not handled probably or addressed, and there is a need why really this law must be thought of and brought to the attention of the stakeholders such that it's made into law. Okay. And in most cases, it is the government business to identify these areas. You know how government operates. It operates through ministries. Yes. So we will now have a situation where probably a ministry identifies a gap that needs to be attended to be addressed by legal action. And where there are no provisions guiding, then it means there is something that is lacking. And in most cases, they will now try to see how to patch up something such that that gap is bridged.
Okay.
Yes. So from there, now at the ministerial level, there are going to be discussions. Yes. And eventually, probably they come up with like a policy statement or something, and it has to be taken to cabinet before it is taken to Parliament. It needs to get the cabinet approval, and at the cabinet, it's introduced there actually by way of memorandum, cabinet memorandum, and it's done by the minister in line, the concerned ministry where there is a gap. The minister in charge now will
So does
take
that
it.
one also apply to the private members bill?
No. Because now a private members bill, you don't need take it to cabinet. You are not going to access to the cabinet.
So who finances the private members bill?
There is
the member of parliament who is
the member
trying
of parliament
to
does
table that
not.
bill?
The member of parliament does not finance the bill, because there is a requirement that before you actually have the bill introduced in parliament, it needs to be you need to have consulted the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, and gotten the certificate, which is called the certificate of financial implication. That one, its purpose is actually that the MPs should not waste time on discussing, debating, then passing a bill which is not going to be implemented. Okay. So at least you need to consult the Minister of Finance as a requirement under the Budgets Act to have that certificate. So as the bill is introduced to Parliament, then it must come along with, it has to be accompanied with that certificate.
The financial implication.
Yes. So when it's there, and for the bill is funded by the government.
The rest of the business is funded by government.
Yes.
However much it's a private member's bill.
Yes, and at some point, even the government can take it over from a private member who has brought it.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is also allowed under the rules?
Yes, it's allowed.
Okay.
Yes, it's allowed. And the private member has no much power to refuse and hold on, this is my bill, moving here and there with it. Because in the end, things need to be in harmony.
And we believe that the rules must be for the good governance of the people, like it is provided.
Yes, Parliament is mandated to make laws that are going to promote peace, laws for peace, for order, for development and good governance. Yes, so if those four things are not there, then there is no need even why we should be talking about making the rules for what?
So
and actually, somewhere you find that we are making laws and probably some of those things are missing there. So, but they should always be looked at for peace, for order, for development and good governance.
So now who examines and determines that this bill introduced actually meets the qualifications or the quantifications that you have stated about peace, security, order and good governance as they are provided for in the Constitution?
Now that
we just leave that one to
now that one now you see the problem in Uganda we have. Eventually, we are going to have politics playing at play and changing some of these things. A spade at some point is called a spoon, a spoon at some point. So it depends on who is really determining if this is complying to those requirements, the basics, or so it depends on the lining, if you are supporting it or you are not supporting it. But
okay.
Yes.
That's so interesting. So our role is actually to accept the rules the way they are made as
no,
citizens.
Of course, if they are made and they are really in contravention of the processes, they can be challenged. Yes, they can be challenged. Because where they have gone to the extreme and really they are not in harmony with the... and in any case, the law is made to operate amongst the people.
Okay.
And it should be very fair that it accommodates everyone in a fair way. So where you find it is not going to fairly really accommodate everyone to be applied to everyone in a fair manner, then really that law is a bad one. It would not be a very good law.
Okay, now we go back to the process. Now it is at the cabinet level and they are discussing it. Now what else do we follow and what else should we expect for before that bill actually comes into force as a law on the floor of Parliament to pass it, and then Assent and the rest. Now it is at the level of Cabinet. They are discussing the same bill as introduced. What follows after?
At Cabinet, when the minister introduces it, actually by way of Cabinet memorandum, like I told you, is seeking one thing, to have the proposal, his proposal, to be approved by Cabinet.
By Cabinet.
Yes, and they are approving what? They are approving processes of drafting the bill. Okay. Not the bill itself, but the principles of drafting the bill. So when they approve, now the minister is empowered to instruct the first parliamentary council. And when I talk of first parliamentary council, I mean this draftsman of parliament who drafts legislations in parliament. Yeah. So when they approve the principles of drafting, when the cabinet does that, then now the minister gives instruction to the first parliamentary council to draft.
Now the role of drafting is for the first parliamentary council.
Parliamentary
not even
council.
The minister who is trying to introduce this.
No. In any case, for him, he might not be well conversant with. The first parliamentary council is a person who has studied legislative drafting, and he knows what it takes to draft.
So any other person, including me, who studied my legislative drafting, I have the best drafting skills and the rest.
When the first parliamentary council is drafting the bill, he engages all the people. He engages the line ministry where there is, where that bill is falling, yes, where it falls, and he engages all the people. He consults them such that they get agreed position of the draft bill. Yes. Then from there, it is again submitted back to cabinet, and they discuss about it. Cabinet at that point can approve it, or can send it like back to the ministry to amend something. They can approve subject to amendment. Then when it's done in that way, then again the draftsman has to include all the amended provisions.
Okay. But now at that point we are still having a proposal of a bill.
Yes, of course. Yes, it's not yet a bill.
So until cabinet has actually confirmed that this is what we agreed as cabinet.
Yes. And
the
now it's like
parliamentary council has done what is required of them.
Yes.
And now we have a proposal.
Yes.
Now that's the stage we are at. Now what happens after it is accepted and approved by cabinet?
When it's approved by cabinet, now by cabinet, it means that they go ahead and print. They engage the government's printers, UPPC, I think.
Yes.
Then they print now many copies, which they take to parliament. Yes.
So at that level, don't we include now the committee of parliament that is in charge of legislations, or it is just ignored, and when cabinet has passed, then we don't include the powers and the
those ones at that point they are called, you see, but the first parliamentary council is a part of parliament, not executive.
Okay.
So they engage with each other. So finally they come up with the bill.
So now they have come up with the bill.
Yes.
What do they do to this bill?
Now it's taken to, when it's approved.
In the different processes now, it is approved as a proposal at cabinet level.
Yes.
And now, as the law suggests under Article 91 and when you look at the Acts of Parliament Act, they suggest the different processes that should be taken for it to reach the point of being called a bill. So now can we go through the processes now at that stage? It is brought before Parliament. What do we do? What does Parliament do? What is required from Parliament at that time? Do we consider a bill, a proposed bill as it is, or we go through discussing the bill and the rest?
So now at Parliament,
Yes.
At Parliament, the bill is introduced for first reading.
Okay.
Yes. And for first reading, when I say first reading, I mean this is the official introduction of the bill,
Yes.
before Parliament. So at Parliament, this bill is accompanied by the other certificate I told you.
Of financial implications.
Financial implications, such that the MPs don't waste time on something which really the country is not going to manage implementation.
It should not be brought into force.
Yes, because there is a financial implications.
Okay.
So if they are to make the bill into law, then it means the country should be ready and must be having resources that will enable it to have it implemented. Yes, at least for 2 years. That's a requirement under the Budget Act of 2000 and something. Yes, and at that point, the bill is not debated upon. So they don't talk about it. They only receive it. The speaker refers it to the parliamentary committee. Yes. So at that point, largely they don't talk about it. Yes. So the speaker it's introduced, received in Parliament, then referred to the committee. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The specific committee that handles
the legal and drafts committee.
Yes.
Parliament.
Yes. And at the committee now they engage other people.
That we call the stakeholders.
Yes, the stakeholders. Then we engage the civil society. Then they can invite key people they consider to have more knowledge about the area. All those people, they review relevant laws, see if such area that needs to be looked at, if it has ever been provided for under other legislation. Then they also look at, they gather a lot of information about the area.
Suggestions made as well.
Yes. Then eventually they come up with a report. Now that report is taken to the Parliament.
Parliament again.
Yes, to Parliament again. In a plenary. Plenary is a Parliament session where all members are to be in attendance.
Okay.
Yes. Unlike the parliamentary committee where committee members, yes, a few members.
So now at the plenary, they have a report, and in most cases there are two reports: the minority report and then the majority report in support of the bill as presented, as it is presented, discussed, and passed and agreed on at the committee level.
No, actually, they take two reports, fine.
Yes.
But sometimes the second one can
be ignored.
It might not be taken. Okay. It's a minority report. Those who had
divergent issues
who
are not in agreement
with the rest of the committee members, with the report they came up with. Yes. So here, the minister, of course, will justify and move a motion for the Parliament. Now the MPs to welcome the bill and debate the report.
Okay.
Here they are debating about the report. Yes, that is coming from the parliamentary committee. Yes, and the bill, eventually, in this session, they refer it to the committee of the whole house.
The plenary?
Yes. But remember, this is a plenary meeting, session of parliament.
So now here at this stage, they discuss as parliament on the bill.
Here they are discussing about the report that has been submitted. Yes.
Alongside with the bill.
Exactly. So, and from here, they are going to have the bill read for the second time.
Second time.
Yes. So, if they accept, approve, and they read the second time, then it's referred to the House of the entire Parliament now.
Okay.
You get?
Now that is at the second reading.
Yes, at the second reading. So when they refer it to the whole House, what happens? They are again going to debate more about it.
About the bill.
Actually,
different provisions.
Here they are talking about it in a very extensive way. The head now is the speaker. He's not called the speaker or the deputy speaker, who would be in head of this meeting, will be called the chairperson or the deputy speaker, the deputy chairperson respectively.
Okay.
And he's not in his seat at this point of the speaker. No, he leaves that seat and sits where the clerk sits, clerk parliament.
Okay.
Yes. So
that is at the second reading.
Not second reading. Now a committee of a whole house.
Of a whole house.
Yes, a committee of a whole house. Previously, it had gone through a committee.
Small committee.
Small committee.
The legal and drafts.
Yes, from there it went to plenary, the whole parliament, they talked about it, accepted it, and it was read for the second time. So this time, they refer it to the committee of a whole house. Yes, a whole house, all members are there, chaired by the speaker, but not in his title as
capacity of the speaker.
Not in the capacity of the speaker, but
as a chairperson.
A chairperson, yes. If it's the deputy speaker, as the deputy chairperson.
Okay.
Now I think our viewers.
Our viewers now are starting to understand.
Yes.
I am sure most of them may not have known this, and this is why we bring our different people on this same show, what is called Tekachi or What Law, to discuss and inform you about how different things are done under the law, because these are provisions of the law, and our role is to always keep you in the know of different things that you could be knowing a little about, that you could have no idea about, but then the alternative Digitalk is always here to always keep you informed and updated. Mwekumile mkumanya tegeza ko muno na ya tegeze ko munne fena siganinga tumanya, because there is nothing you lose when you invite a friend to also pick a leaf or learn something from what we are discussing. And now that is why we bring different people to tell you and inform you about different things that they have knowledge about. And today we have Counsel Nimrod trying to take us in the lawmaking process, what is done at what stage in Parliament, and then from Parliament we shall proceed to different other lawmaking processes, for example, on the local council levels and the municipal levels, and different authorities, which other laws can be made apart from the laws made and legislated by Parliament. So, Council, we proceed from there. And now the chairperson, who is the speaker, is now chairing the committee of the whole house.
Yes, and here the MPs will, of course, approve. Okay. Cross by cross. They scrutinize entirely the entire bill.
Every part of
including its schedules.
Okay.
Yes, and they make approvals to each. Where they need to change, then they change. So where they need to remove, they remove.
So they can make amendments at that point of a different provision, or remove,
or add in
different things.
Yes.
Okay.
Then from there, again, it's sent back to Parliament. Now the plenary. Okay. Sit as Parliament, not as the House, a whole House committee. But now this time it sit as.
Now the speaker goes back to their position.
Yes, now the speaker is the speaker, and the deputy speaker is the deputy speaker.
Okay. So interesting.
Yes. And here, of course, the plenary, the minister will ask the plenary to resume business. Then they continue debating about now the report of the committee, because even that the committee of the whole house, they are also going to make a report, so which is again also debated upon by the plenary session of Parliament. And at that stage they can have the bill read for the third time.
Yes.
After reading the bill for the third time, then it's sent to the clerk's office.
So at the third time, reading it for the third time, now they are reading the final copy.
That's the final copy.
Where they have added, it is included in the final part that is read. Where they have deleted, they must all be included.
Yes,
in
by the time
reading.
so by the time it's read third time, then it means everything now has been
agreed
put.
on
Yes,
by
yes,
the Olaf.
yes.
So now it is sent to the clerk.
To the clerk's office.
Okay.
And the reason it's sent to the clerk's office is to have the clerk prepare documents, the copies that are going to be sent to the president for assent to the bill.
Yeah. So at that time, before it is sent to the president,
yes.
Now the clerk has already made the copies. Now what is it called at that time? Because we started with the proposal of the bill. Now Parliament has taken it through the process, and now it is a clerk. Third reading, voting has done place. It is now at that level. Now how do we refer to such a document?
Such a document?
Yes.
It's a bill.
Now at that stage, that's what we call a bill. So it's final and waiting for the president to assent.
To assent to the bill, yes, please.
Okay.
So now when it's sent to the president, now the president is supposed to do three things.
Okay.
He either assents to the bill. When he assents to the bill, it becomes law.
Okay.
Or he can return it back to Parliament. Yes, he can return it back to Parliament with a request to have it amended, or parts of it removed, or something like that, where he is not comfortable.
So in other words, he can advise Parliament to
at this point, he can advise Parliament where he thinks and believes that really Parliament needed to have probably made certain provisions in the bill. He can request that they reconsider those provisions. He does not direct them on what to do, but he can guide. Yes, he can guide. Yes, he can advise them on what to do.
Okay.
Yes, and the third thing he's supposed to do is to notify the speaker of his decision, whether he is assenting to the bill or he's refusing.
Okay.
Yes, but in any case, when the law provides that actually we can do away with the authorization of the president.
Assent of the president.
Yes.
By the way, our viewers out there should know that when we talk about assent on the bill, it is the president giving its signature.
Yes.
And confirming that now this one
is law. Yes.
Is law. So we shouldn't be confused about assent and the rest. But if you have looked at the bill that is in original copy, before it is published in this, for example, this hard copy like this, the president signs somewhere at the end of it, and that is what we call assent. So now we can continue and proceed from there, Counsel.
Yes, what I was saying about that we can dispense with the president's assenting to the bill in a situation where 2/3 of MPs, when it's sent back, returned back to the Parliament,
yes,
2 times
by the president.
By the president.
He returns it.
The Parliament passes a bill, sends it to the president to accent it, and he returns it back to Parliament. If he does that 2 times, and the bill has been passed by 2/3 of the MPs, then that automatically becomes law.
So on the third time, we don't require the president to again sign
that
it can
automatically become a bill.
That's what the law provides for?
Yes.
That is the practice that we follow?
No, that's what the law provides for.
Okay.
That's what our laws provide for. And then, of course, there are other things you might find. So now that it has become law, when is it commencing?
Yes.
When is it going?
Now we can go to that level, and so that our viewers out there can understand something about that. Now the president, let us consider now the situation that the president has assented to this bill.
Yes.
What is it called at that stage? Is it still a bill? Is it an act? What is it?
No, now it's an act.
It's an act
now
of
it's
parliament.
an act of parliament.
Okay.
An act of parliament. It's now a law that has been passed by parliament and assented to by the president.
So we are no longer referring to that document.
It's an act
as
now.
a bill.
So yes. So now, when should the act commence?
Yes. Now that it's about commencement of the act.
Yes.
So now
they
when does
provide,
it commence?
Usually there is a provision that stipulates the date when the act of parliament is going to commence. Or sometimes in the provisions they can say the minister will decide
on the commencement.
Now, there it means that Parliament has empowered the minister to determine the date of commencement.
To say that this law will commence on 12th, on 2nd November 2022.
Exactly. So
that will be its commencement.
That will
commencement date as provided
for by itself or by other law. Yes.
So when the president assents to the bill, there is an issue of gazette that makes a lot of rounds and people are asking about it. What happens when such a bill is not gazetted? Does it commence as an act?
Of course it will have.
Of
course it will have to be gazetted.
That is mandatory. That is
yes, it has required. To be. It has to be gazetted. It is a must. It has to be gazetted. Yes, for it before it becomes to. When it's assented to, then it's gazetted.
After assent, then it is gazetted.
Yes.
That's when it can be enforced.
Yes.
But it's already an act.
Yes, yes.
Okay, now, Counsel, thank you so much about that information, and I hope our viewers are getting something from the discussion today. Now, Counsel, we shall briefly go to the other kind of legislations. For example, the legislations that are passed at the local council level. This is not parliament at this time. They normally call it a subsidiary legislation. We have what they call bylaws. We have what they call ordinances. So do these kind of legislations as well, not done by parliament, follow the same procedure?
Our viewers, what they should know about these aspects now you are arising,
yes,
is that we have different types and categories of laws,
yes,
in Uganda. So there is this which we have now finished talking of, the process. That one would be primary legislation.
That is primary legislation.
Yes.
The ones that are passed by parliament.
Passed by parliament, and they stipulate policies, and now there are subsidiary legislation.
Subsidiary legislation.
Yes, passed by other bodies but empowered by parliament. Okay. Now, you are going to find that, for example, a local government is allowed to make laws.
To also make laws.
And the laws they make, depending on which level of local government, districts make ordinances.
Okay.
A district council is empowered by the constitution and the local government act to make an ordinance
as a law at its level.
At its level, and that law should affect the people in that district.
So it does not shift from district A to district B?
No.
It
operates
in the boundaries.
Yes,
of the
yes. It can only be enforced in that district.
Okay.
Yes, and even the other agencies, like you find like URA or UR or NEMA or whichever, if they can be empowered by parliament to make some laws. So you find they are making regulations, they are making rules, they are making giving guidelines that can be used as laws.
So those fall under subsidiary legislation.
Subsidiary legislation, and even the local governments, sub-county, and the urban councils, sub-county councils. Those ones, all of them are empowered by the Local Government Act to make bylaws.
Yes.
Yes, but they all fall under the category of subsidiary legislation. And there is a process. They must follow. But even there are the principles that guide them. For example, they should address the concerns of local issues.
At the district
At the
or local
district
council
level,
level.
for example, yes. Should not cross other districts or apply to, and they should not be inconsistent with the constitution or an act of parliament or any other law that is in force.
So before they come to table that kind of ordinance, they must consider the provisions of other laws.
Exactly,
passed
to
by
be
Parliament
ensure
and then
that
the
it is in harmony with them.
Okay.
You get? Because if it is, for example, inconsistent with an act of parliament, then it means that law is not constitutional.
So the act of
It is
parliament
going to
also
be
supersedes the power and the authority of the ordinances.
exactly. In any case, it's the act that empowers the local government to legislate.
To legislate and
Yes,
make such an
yes, because it's the parliament delegating its legislation powers to a lower unit, which in this case is a local government.
The local government.
Yes. So, and it does that through an act of parliament. So now it will be the act of parliament that actually is allowing the local government to make an ordinance.
Make a different ordinance.
Yes, exactly. So, and already matters that have been, that are addressed by any other law, then the local governments should not
intervene to make such ordinances.
Those ones you don't provide for them under the ordinances.
So the ordinances, in simple terms, they must come to address an issue that is not addressed by any other
law and of a very local nature.
Very local nature.
Yes, and to address concerns of within that locality.
Depending
and actually,
on
it shouldn't look at like individual concerns of like you. It's me, Counsel Kato, and I have a problem here, so I need the local government to sit and make a resolution and pass a bill.
They can pass an ordinance in my favor too.
No, it's not supposed to be like that. Yes, they should be of a local nature.
Okay.
Yes, but
affecting a
certain community or group of people, group of individuals, not an individual, a single person. Yes, and even these ordinances should contain the do's and the don'ts.
Okay.
They don't need also to just be there for nothing.
For the sake of
yes, they should be there, giving the do's and the don'ts. They should prescribe penalties and fines. You get as a enforcing tool.
So they must correspond with the principle of legality as provided under the Constitution. Clearly stating
yes, of course.
The offense and the
yes, of course, yes.
Okay.
If they are to be of criminal nature, yes. And then they need to consult the Attorney General.
At the local council level?
Yes.
The district, for example?
Yes. A bill, if they are, some of the considerations.
Yes, they must consult the Attorney General.
Yes. Before it's passed.
So now what is the role of the Attorney General at that level? In a district level, and you said that such an ordinance is trying to protect the problems and the challenges of a small community.
Now the coming in of the Attorney General is to ensure that it is in harmony with our other laws.
All right, now I get it.
You get it?
Yes.
And it is not infringing on some standards, probably human rights or what. So it is in harmony.
So his role at this level
because
is
even
to give
at
guidance.
the end, yes. Because at the end of the day, he's the one who is going to certify
this
that
law.
Yes, that this law is okay. It was passed by the district, so it's okay. It's not in disagreement with the Constitution or any other act of parliament or any other law. Okay. Yes. And even where, for example, a sub-county or an urban council is making a bylaw, also it needs to consult the district council.
So
because
it means each level consults the
yes,
level above it.
Yes, yes. To see if really what you are providing for is within your area of authority, or you have gone off beyond. Yes. So you consult the district council as well, and even when you pass that bill, at the end of the day, you are going to send it to the district council
to
approve it.
And approve it.
Yes, to approve it.
Operationalized.
Yes. And things to do with the, for example, administration of court or establishment of court. Now, the local governments don't have such powers. A local government can't establish a court. This court will be there and educate on certain matters, or this. That's not. They don't have such powers.
Okay.
Yes.
So who has such powers of allocating that this district should have a court and all that?
That would be judiciary.
The judiciary.
That would be judiciary, yes.
So
that
even if
judiciary and courts of
even if a local council or a district at a district level feels that there is a need of having a court to adjudicate matters arising out of that area, that is not the
There are courts. There are courts there, but it's not the mandate, and they are
of a district established and command that there must be this court.
No. It would be judiciary, and even in those units, the courts, quasi-court systems that are there, is a delegation of the judiciary.
Judiciary.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's another area altogether. Yes.
Okay, that's important to note, and our viewers there, thank you for watching and following this discussion. And we're having Counsel Nimrod trying to take us on how different laws come into place. We have had so many laws, and some have been assented to by the president, and some have been actually sent back to parliament. And recently he sent back the parliamentary pensions and about the pensions of the members of parliament, the speaker and the rest, and he was saying, no, this law should be taken back to parliament for review. And I think council hinted on that point, on what the president does when these bills are presented to him on different days, and what he's meant to do. First of all is he can assent to the bill, he can make recommendations and send it back to parliament for discussion and debate. Then at the end of it all, he can give reasons why he will not assent to the bill, and maybe the parliamentarians, if they feel that bill is so important in different laws as to good governance, order, and security of the country, then they can also rethink and retable the same bill, debate, and then it can be passed and again sent to the president for assent. And like he said, when it is sent 2 times and on the 3rd time Parliament passes the same bill, then it can pass it and it becomes law. Now, councillors, we were almost coming to the end of the show. When I will now ask this one, and I will need your opinion maybe about it. When a local level passes an ordinance, and I feel as a person that it contravenes the different articles and provisions of the Constitution and maybe the other legislative copies passed by Parliament, do I also challenge it in the same courts as the Constitutional Court? Or that is done elsewhere? Do we have a different court that manages the issues that come out of ordinances at the local level?
Of course, anything that will be done out of, and you feel it's out of the authority, then you go to Constitutional Court.
Okay.
Yes.
You even challenge a law that was passed by a sub-county level. The need is made to come to the Constitutional Court.
Yeah, I think so. Because if it is made law, then and how do you make it disregarded? It means you are going to
challenge it in the Constitutional Court.
Yes.
Okay. And then a different issue about the Computer Misuse Act, then I will want to pick your view about it. Because that will be your opinion and how you consider it. Is it actually passed in the good interest of the people? Is it for good governance? Is it for promotion of peace and security as provided for the Constitution and as passed by Parliament? I would want to pick a leaf about your views on the same act.
I would love not to answer.
As a person who is actually using...
I would love not to answer this question, but since you have asked me,
yes.
You are fixing me in a corner. But I understand some people have taken the Computer Misuse Act to Constitutional Court to be
challenged.
To be challenged, and matters that are in court, I'm not comfortable giving my comments over them. But let's wait for what will come out of the court. Yes, let's wait for what will come out of the court. I will be following what's happening.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay, now I will give you like 2 minutes and you say the final and then the parting shots of today's show to our viewers out there listening. And you can also call them to always follow and like our page, comment and join our discussions on the alternative Digitalk.
Time I think has not been all that much, not yes. Our best ally, because we did not go through now the process of how the laws under the local government are made. There is a process that needs to be followed there, but I think another time we shall talk about it.
That's so true.
And to our viewers, I again want to thank you for keeping up with us as we are sharing ideas on the lawmaking process in our country. And I call upon you always to follow up and listen in and view Digitalk TV, Alternative Uganda, and follow all the channels of the TV. And I call upon the viewers also to love our country, Uganda. Okay. And as our motto goes, that for God and my country. Yes, I wish you blessings and for the rest of the week, for God's provision and protection. And to the management of Alternative Uganda, again, I thank you for inviting me to this show and giving me the opportunity to talk to Ugandans, those living in Uganda and those living abroad. Thank you, Counsel Kato, for being such a wonderful host and moderator. Okay. And I thank you for guiding the discussion very well. Right. To the teams that has in support, I think, also I thank them, because without them, I don't think the show would be all that a success. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for also honoring our invitation and creating time to come and share with our viewers out there on different issues. And I hope this has been an interactive and educative show that everybody could have picked a leaf, but don't keep that information to yourself alone. Share the same information, because at the end of it all, you don't lose anything to share what you have learned from one or another person. Like so many scholars said that the only thing that changes in your life, that will change in your life, the 5 years from today, will be the people you have met and the books you have read and actually what you have heard and learned. If you have not learned anything in the 5 years, then the rest will be the same and nothing will have changed in your life. To add on the same, I will just call upon Ugandans to be vigilant about Ebola. I know it has, the infection and the cases have risen, and it's everybody's chance and opportunity to make sure that they are keeping themselves clean. Wash your hands, follow the guidelines, and keep yourself safe. I shall see you next Tuesday, and thank you for always tuning up to Alternative Digitalk. Our normal programming continues, and we shall be here tomorrow and then the other day. But for this same show, I shall see you next Tuesday. Have a lovely afternoon.
The Alternative Digitalk. Real issues, real talk.